Hello students, today we discuss a few more models. In the last chapter we have discussed some models. We take some more in this lecture. Models are related to our mood. Models show the concept that is being expressed by the speaker. Today we take should, would, will and a few more. First of all we discuss about the use of should. Should shows duty, softened command, advice, and probability. For example, one should try to do one's best duty. One should go at one's softened command. You should call for a doctor. Advice. You should find the book on the top shelf. Probability. Obligation. Showing an assumption. Ought to. For example, they should be more careful now. You should be in bed by now. For hypothetical situation, work hard lest you should fail. It means work hard is required if you want to success, if you want to pass in the examination. He hurried lest he should be late. So the condition is there. If he will not hurry, if he will not make haste, it is possible that he will be late. So in hypothetical situation, in showing obligation, in showing duty, softened command, advice, probability, we use should as modal auxiliary. To express desire and preference with first person. For example, I should like to leave early. I should like to take milk. So in such situations we use should as modal auxiliary. To express probability or expectation. They should be there by now. The meaning is it is possible that they are there. You are an MA and should know this. It means you have done your MA and it is expected from you that you should at least know all this. For purpose. For purpose, should is used with all persons in clauses expressing purpose equivalent to may or might, expressing a condition, possibility, or hypothesis. For example, I lent him this book so that he should study it. Might, remote possibility. So these are the use of should. Now we take will. Will is used for polite request. In questions we use will for polite request. For example, will you open the window please? Will you please help me? The meaning is, are you willing to help me? To show willingness in affirmative sentences, refusal in negative sentences, agreement, intention with all persons. For example, I will try again if you wish. The meaning is, I am willing to. I won't listen you unless you talk sense. Refusal. I won't go. Refusal. I will leave at 8 p.m. Intention. Promise threat determination with all persons. Promise threat determination with first person, not all persons. For example, I will not permit it. Determination. First person. I will punish you if you don't do your work. Warning is there. I will give you my book. Promise is there. To express habit or obstinate insistence in all persons in affirmative, negative, and interrogative sentences. For example, boys will be boys. Habit. Some girls will come late. Habit. My husband will drop S on the carpet. Obstinate insistence. Capability. In third person, in affirmative, negative, and interrogative sentences, we use will to express capability. This glass will hold more water than that. These shoes will wear well. So these are the uses of will. Will is also used in an affirmative sentences, can express command also. For example, you will attend the class at 10 o'clock tomorrow. School notice that is showing somehow command. Would. Would is also used to show polite request that is less authoritative. Would you open the window, please? Would you bring me a glass of water? To mother we can say, will you bring me a glass of water? To wife we say. So this is the difference. When we use would as a polite request, that is less authoritative. So if we say something to mother, that is very polite. And we say, would you give me a glass of water? To mother, and to wife, will you bring me a glass of water? When we use past habit, or when you want to denote past habit, we use would. For example, he should sit for hours watching the ship. He would blame Raman for everything. These are the indication of past habits. Preference. Rather, sooner can be placed after would. For example, I would rather go. The meaning is, I would prefer to go. He would rather die than beg. The meaning is, he would prefer to die. In conditional sentences, it expresses the supposed result of an imaginary condition or improbable condition. For example, if he came late, he would be punished. If he had come late, he would have been punished. Past unfulfilled condition. So these are the uses of would. Now we take must. Must is used to show obligation, compulsion, necessity. For example, we must pay our taxes. It is compulsory to pay the taxes, otherwise we are to be penalized. Soldiers must obey orders. Soldiers must obey order. It is obligatory for the soldiers. It is mandatory for the soldiers to obey the orders, otherwise their service will not be continued. To show certainty, inevitability. For example, don't bet on horse races, you must lose in the long run. The another example is we must all die. Death is the ultimate end of human being. So it is sure and certain that we must all die. For strong likelihood, we also use must. For example, what you say must be true. He must be a rich man. He must be 40. These are the strong likelihood. Strongly we can say. For emphatic advice, we can say you must visit the Taj when you go to Agra. This is emphatic advice. Insistence is there. Emphatic advice. You must tell the truth. For prohibition, we use must not. Visitors must not pluck flowers. If you are visiting somewhere, you must not pluck means this is prohibited to pluck the flowers. People must not park their car here. People must not park means they are prohibited to park the car there. If they park there, penalty will be there. You must not take poison, otherwise you are to die. Non obligation with need not. When we use non obligation with need not, for example, you need not go now. You need not read the book. Ought to. Ought to shows duty, neglected or unfulfilled obligation. For example, I ought to have done it. It I ought to have done it, but this one is unfulfilled obligation. You ought to have returned the books in time. Unfulfilled obligation. Obligation or duty. You ought to obey your parents. You ought to finish your work in time. These are moral duties. It is our moral duty to obey our parents and to finish the work in time. For advice and advisability, you ought to go to Jaipur. You ought to work hard. These are for advice or for desirability. Assumption or strong probability. To show assumption and strong probability, we say that ought to be Raman's car. He ought to be a good player. In this way, models shows different mood and they show different conception, different way of the speaker, and it is necessary for the students to have the knowledge of models. Okay, thank you.